You are listening to The Old House by Hans Christian Andersen from Andersen's Fairy Tales, narrated by Bert Stauff. The Old House. In this street, up there was a very old house. It was almost 300 years old, for that might be known by reading the great beam on which the date of the year was carved. Together with tulips and hopbines, there were whole verses spelled as in former times, and over every window was a distorted face cut out in the beam, on which the date of the year was carved. Together with tulips and hopbines, there were whole verses spelled as in former times, and over every window was a distorted face cut out in the beam. The one story stood forward a great way over the other, and directly under the eaves was a leaden spout with a dragon's head. The rainwater should have run out of the mouth, but it ran out of the belly, for there was a hole in the spout. All the other houses in the street were so new and so neat, with large window panes and smooth walls. One could easily see that they would have nothing to do with the old house. They certainly thought, "How long is that old decayed thing to stand here as a spectacle in our street? And then the projecting windows stand so far out that no one can see from our windows what happens in that direction. The steps are so broad as those of a palace, and as high as to a church tower. The iron railings look just like the door to an old family vault. And then they have brass tops. That's so stupid." On the other side of the street were also new and neat houses, as they thought just as the others did. But at the window opposite the old house there sat a little boy, with fresh rosy cheeks and bright beaming eyes. He certainly liked the old house best, and that both in the sunshine and moonshine. And when he looked across at the wall where the mortar had fallen out, he'd sit and find out there the strangest figures imaginable, exactly as the street had appeared before, with steps, projecting windows, and pointed gables. He could see soldiers with halberds and spouts where the water ran, like dragons and serpents. That was a house to look at, and there lived an old man who wore plush breeches, and he had a coat with a large brass buttons, and a wig that one could see was a real wig. Every morning there came an old fellow to him who put his rooms in order and went on errands. Otherwise, the old man in the plush breeches.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?